Grasshoppers, the time has come. Strap on that cape. Place the goggles on the crown of your head. Let's go. It's time for the quest for epic engagement. And I could not possibly ever have a better guest than I do right now today. Gwendolyn Houston Jack is coming in. Listen, I met this woman and immediately I thought to myself, yes, I need to be in this presence. You know what I mean? And so she is a wonderful friend, an incredibly engaging human being. She does portraits. She is a career mentor. And she does a bunch of other things. We're going to let her speak about it. Gwendolyn G, tell me everything.
Oh, where do we start? I was just a little one out in the fields. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Where do we start? Well, okay, so let's go with the basics. We'll say, and I do speak in plural, so just like work with me, people. Okay, work with me.
Work with her.
But portrait artists. So yes, we are a family photographer. Love taking pictures of the family and watching the kids grow. So we do like some senior shots, some teenage tween shots, some headshots. And if the Lord blesses us, maybe a couple of weddings, because living is a blessing, right? And then we're also that career coach or mentor where we work with entrepreneurs because it is a career choice. And although we believe we know it all, we don't know it all. And so, like with any great career, it is good to have a mentor or a coach on your side. And then when we're not doing all of that, we like to get on the mic, talk for a little bit. You know, we have a couple of podcasts. I'm like, well, do a couple of podcasts and an indie TV show. So, yes, I think that sums it up. There is no thing that sums it up. Yes.
Beautiful. Well, I've been privileged to be in the tribe somewhere. And gosh, we met some months ago. Go Brunch, of course, was a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I've met some outstanding humans on Go Brunch, I will say, and just immediately hitting it off because you are a person who what do they call it, a multi-potentialite or something like that. It sounds like socialite, so it's a little off-putting, but like you have so many degrees of expertness. In my book, you worked at corporate for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Sales and all of those things, photography, of course. I just wish I lived near you. We're in the same time zone, which is
We are in the same time zone.
I might have to fly down there someday and ask you to take a picture. But yeah, so many areas of expertise and excellence. How do you keep that all together as an entrepreneur? How do you keeping track of all that?
One of and I'm going to use the word superpower. My brain it's about organizing. So I have a lot of ideas in my head. And if I'm not sharing them to a voice recorder, then I'm typing them out. So I love Notion. I also love OneNote. So I use them both because they are my friends to put things down and keep things on track. But I am tight on the calendar. Now, I know some people don't like talking about zodiac signs, but I'm also that person. So I'm a Virgo. Yeah. And we are a way about organization, right? So we keep a really tight calendar and I plan in advance. So you had mentioned my corporate background. So in the past, I was a training manager, hiring manager. And so I would work 6 months to a year out. And when that becomes your life, when you're traveling, then you don't lose that habit. You start working far in advance and you stay that way.
Yeah.
So we get it all done because it's tight. If it's a family trip, it's on the calendar. If we're going to the movies, it's on the calendar. If we're having brunch, it's on the calendar. Yes. It's like, if you want to get over here. Now, is there a space for some free time? Yes, of course. But for the big things, like, is it on the calendar? No. So you get on the calendar.
keeping all of that organized and in your head, and particularly about, like, marketing yourself.
Mhm.
Do you have 3 marketing campaigns going on all the time? Or how do you find that balance between doing all of these beautiful things that you love to do, and letting people know who you are in a single breath? Because nobody got time for a long explanation these days. Uh,
Well,
how do you balance?
that's a great question because I know, let's just say that traditionally, most people will use their current job or current career as a way to introduce themselves. I don't do that. I believe that our job, our career is just one facet of who we are. It doesn't say who I am. So, like when people ask about who I am, if I have to use 3 titles, I will say I'm a creative, I'm a small biz owner, I'm a podcaster. But my main thing is creating a safe space for people to be who they are and to have inner peace and well-being, like just live life. So that's my biggest thing, right?
Yeah,
And you can see it in career coaching, you can see it in photography, you see it in podcasting.
yeah,
So in terms of marketing all the things, there are working marketing plans that I took from the previous life that says, hey, here's the year. And certain things happen all the time. So they're on a repeat. We're not
yeah,
going to redo, reinvent the wheel. It's the same holiday as it was last year. Turkey Day, Christmas, Father's Day, 4th of July, whatever you want to celebrate, it comes the same time every year. So if you're going to celebrate it, then have that stuff ready. Have evergreen things. So we are about working smart, not working hard, and also knowing when I am tapping out. So I do a lot of stuff like in batches. If I have to put on makeup all day to do some recording, I'm recording a lot of stuff today.
that's right.
Get it all done. But I also know when I've met my match and when the body's like, we're tired. And so we do have specific days of rest and reset. And when we don't do anything, like we just, that whole like grinding until you're, this is
Yeah.
highly overrated. It
No.
is not, it's not what I do.
Mm. In those who do, burn out. I mean,
And don't have the joy and don't have the true joy,
yeah,
right? So you have to decide, and I know we're all over the place, but you have to decide in terms of how you want to live your life, what matters the most to you.
yeah.
Now, do you want a lot of money? Okay, money's great. Money will buy you bacon. Sorry, vegans. Money will buy you bacon. It's gonna buy you some champagne. It's gonna get you chocolate. Like it can bring great comforts. And it may also release some stresses of every day, right?
Yeah,
But it doesn't make you happy.
no,
It
baby,
doesn't bring happiness.
no.
Now, those things are close, but it does not bring you happiness. I have found, as I have gone through my own trials and what have you, my own storms, the very simple, and I say simple, looking at society's idea of what you ought to do, which
Mm.
is, but the very basic everyday blessings. I got up this morning. God willing, will be 49 years young soon. I can talk to my mama, talk to my siblings, see my husband, my grandbabies. What else do I really need besides bacon, champagne, and chocolate? What else do I really need?
Ah, ah.
You know what I mean? Like, But now, for some people, it takes them a while to get to that place of what makes me happy and fulfilled.
Yeah,
What brings joy to my heart? For some people, they never get there. Or they do the I'm gonna chase, and to each his own, I'm gonna chase 100,000, the 200,000, the whatever. And now they're like, okay, well now I got it, and now what? Because it doesn't bring you happiness. You have to define what success is for you and what you see as happiness for you and what gets you out the bed. What gets you out the bed? Now, me keeping wine in the wine fridge, oh yeah, that's why I'm out here. Because I
yeah,
got to I got to keep it in there. It
yeah.
doesn't feel itself,
Ah,
you know? But ask yourself, why are you here? What's your purpose and what brings you joy? And when people say, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Okay, newsflash, you're working. You'll be happier.
I'm not
You'll
doing
be
this from a
happier.
bathtub. I am
Yeah.
working.
You are still working, okay? You'll be happier for it, right? You'll have more joy, but you are still working. So, but yeah.
Well, and my North Star is not billions of dollars and billions of followers and paparazzi to follow me everywhere. I
Mhm.
am so sorry. Y'all, love ya. If that's your dream,
Yeah.
that's awesome. But
Mhm.
like in the marketing world, and you and I've talked about this in the past, in the marketing world, it's like, well, unless you're a go-getter, unless you're aggressive, unless you want to make $10 million a year, what are you doing? What,
Mhm.
like all of that. Hey, that ain't my goal. My goal is to leave a legacy behind myself. My goal is to pay off the debt that all my wife and I have incurred, but let's just be honest, it's mostly me, and give the woman a chance to retire.
Yes.
And keep us in bacon and champagne and ice cream
Yeah.
is mine. But like, it's not about money.
Mhm.
It's about connecting with my people on a
Mhm.
deeper level. It's about engaging them. It is about that. It's, all the other stuff. Like, I feel like before 2020, and you can tell me if you think this as well, but I feel like before 2020, I was really kind of, maybe not as attached to my values, maybe not as attached to what's the outcome I want to see, not just why do I want the money that I
Yeah.
want, what's going on there. And it's only been recently, so I've been working with a lady, she's amazing, and we did a little experiment around values, and it was like, whoa, that was the first time I'd ever seen them lined up in front of my face. And you know what? And this is the weirdest thing. I've been studying marketing copy, all the little hooks we put out there into the universe, hoping one of our people will grab and hold on to that thing for dear life and come in and see us. When I talk about my values, they show up. I don't have to put the hooks. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes.
weird.
Yeah, I will agree that until 2020, it was a matter of just kinda going through the motions. I shouldn't say kinda, it was going through the motions and on cruise control. But a couple of things happened. So, yeah, we did have a pandemic, but also too, I attended the Professional Photographers Association imaging, um, conference, and it was Brant Mansoir. He did a presentation, and it was about his book, and it was called Black Sheep Values. If you check my YouTube, check my social feed, Lord knows I talk about Black Sheep Values all the time. That's how much it hit me. But it was really about who are you truly? Like at the end of the day, black sheep, you can't dye their wool because I mean, hey, it's coming out the way it's coming out. You're not dyeing it, right?
Yeah.
So it is your through and through real values. And I went through the exercise and said, okay, well, this is who I've always been, but now I have this laser like focus on it that I know that I'm about community. I'm gonna make space for people. My parents did it. If there's anything that we do in the kitchen, it's gonna eat, drink, and dance.
Yeah.
Right? But we make space for people to feel comfortable being who they are. Just show up as you are, right? It's about inner peace. All this drama, don't have time for the drama. It gives you wrinkles, right? And it ages you. So don't have time for that. It's about being authentic. If you're an oddball, hello, welcome to the team,
Yeah.
right? Shout out to all the Trekkies are there and those who can quote any great Master Yoda. Man, hey, you my people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, be who you are. Be who you are. But we're about family and we're about community. But when you live those values and you show up as your authentic self and you put that into what you do every day, like you said, people will find you. They find you. And people who don't vibe with you quickly remove themselves. And I'm okay with that.
Yes, indeed.
'Cause one of us has got to go.
Indeed. Well, because I have some opinions on social media. You know, I have some opinions, and that has been an unsafe place for many people.
Okay. You want to talk about social media real quick? You
Let's
want to
do
do it?
this.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it, RJ. Okay, so let's talk about it. So, in our society where we lack, and this is straight opinion, I have not done my official research, but we went from, and this is my age telling, we went from keeping up with the Joneses and enjoying a Phil Donahue and a Sally Jesse Raphael and a Ricky Lake. We went from that to reality TV that is mildly scripted and heavily edited. Well, we
Yes,
went to this place
heavily
of
edited.
having magazines telling you what the latest greatest was every 30 or so days to having this instantaneous barrage of images that tell you everything you're not on a consistent basis. And if you don't have the tools, and I'm going to say emotional intelligence, I'm going to go in there with self awareness. I'm going to talk about some self love. If you don't have the tools to fight that foolishness, a lot of folks got caught up in
Yeah.
what I believe some termed as the Facebook effect, that you're watching this message every single day and you're seeing these really super perfect lives and mothers wearing cardigans and like capri pants and heels as they're cleaning the house. You start thinking, well, what's wrong with me? Something's wrong with me because I don't have this. I'm not 22 years old driving a Mercedes Benz and throwing Cristal bottles off of my yacht. What's wrong with me? How come I'm not there yet? Probably because it's one of the best stories ever told, kid. I mean, some of the finest craftsmanship. Can I just say that? I mean, like, these are some storytellers. Some of the best. Like, if you're a photographer, you know about perspective, right? That you can put yourself right beside the Empire State Building and you too can be the same size. So
Yep.
perhaps that bottle that they were really showing was not like a magnum, but more like the sample size. But if you don't know any better, then you don't.
You
But we
don't.
got caught up in that. People, it got into their head.
Yeah.
And it just,
Mm.
yeah. It doesn't have to be miserable though. It doesn't have to be. It's a choice because you choose what you want to feed yourself. The same way that they called the boob tube. I love PBS. I got great programming off of PBS and the Smithsonian Channel, and you will find me on the Weather Channel.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to tune in what you want to tune into, but when you tune into certain things, you get the message that somewhere back here you need to work with. And you're not getting the right food for your soul. So it doesn't have to be a negative place. I need to sip on that. Hold on, RJ.
Sip.
Mm. It doesn't have to be because, I mean, I met you through, we'll say, social media.
Yeah.
I mean, Go Brunch is a virtual community.
Yeah.
But I met you and these other fine folks in the audience. I met these really great people by being active. But I also fine tune what I want in my feed. So I'm not feeding my soul these negative images, ridiculous stories, and chaos. And I'm not reveling in someone else's pain as if it's entertainment. It's not where we vibe.
No. And I believe, I do believe in a steady diet of awesome shiz.
Mhm.
I mean, one of the things that really, hitting on Go Brunch for just a second, but one of the things that really amazed me was, I no longer I no longer found myself, oh, I got 10 minutes between appointments. I don't really have time to start anything. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go hit up YouTube and see, what's up there.
Mhm.
I don't have to do that. I stop by people's places. I stop by my own place, see if there's anybody around. I talk to real people, real friends, real people I've
Yeah.
made a connection with. I don't doom scroll. I don't doom scroll YouTube. I've been off of Facebook for a good couple of years. Yay. But like everything that I have, everything that is there, I have chosen to be there. The people,
Mhm.
and I get to make many more real connections than I ever did before. I'm so grateful for because like a lot of it is hey hey, put on this polo, smile this way, say these words, and come swim in the sea of sameness with me, and
Yes.
you too can make $1 million. No, I will not. I'm
Yes.
so sorry. I am embracing my freak flag. Uh, I'm gonna fly that thing so high, y'all. And if it makes you uncomfortable, you probably don't want to. No surprises here. No surprises. I am that person, and I will remain that person.
I am right there with you, ma'am. Right, and people often talk about, and it is true. There are statistics that if you are a person who is, let's say, a solopreneur or you're working for yourself, it can be lonely
Yeah.
if you don't know how to manage your time. Get up, go get some sun, talk to other humans, things of that nature, right? Like it can be, but we know that with technology, it doesn't have to be. Like you don't have to do this by yourself. You're not out here alone. It's a choice. And yes, it may open you up to some foolishness, putting yourself out there, extending an olive brand, saying, "Hey, you want to be associates?" And then we can probably work on being friends, or it can feel kind of funny. But the human experience is best with other good humans. Just saying. And I'm a loner. So what does that tell you? A
Ah,
loner that's married. Okay.
ah,
Really getting out of pocket. And he's
ah.
a loner too.
There you go. That's beautiful.
So yeah, it's best with other good people. And you can find your tribe. You can find those people. They do exist.
Yeah.
You gotta be a little vulnerable, be yourself, right? But it is so doable. And I have enjoyed my Go Bunch spaces and the people I have met and the connections I have met. It's been really good, really good.
And for me, it really changed the way I look at community. So I've had well, and you've probably had communities up the wazoo. All coaches and mentors have had many, right? But like being on, because I'd had a text based community forever. I had some on Facebook, I had some on Circle, I had some on Mighty Networks for about 2 minutes once. I mean, everywhere, but always the same experience. You get a few people coming in doing the intro post, and then it's crickets unless you talk.
Yes.
And like nobody, that's not a place to hang.
Mhm.
And so when I got to Go Brunch, it was like I needed to stop measuring the size of my community as to butts in seats at a certain time on a certain day.
Yes.
I got to expand that vision outward. To me, people in my community, you're probably getting an email from me a couple of times a week.
Mhm.
The people in my community, like, and I take we're behind us, of course, as a come right in,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I love that place. But there are people there. It's a 24/7 open game. Like you can come on in any old time. I might not be up. But I really like to expand that idea to the people that are hearing from me on a regular basis, whether it's through LinkedIn, or through TikTok sometimes, or through my emails or whatever. The community is not just the place; the community
No,
is the people.
it is definitely the people. Uh, let's talk about the first one, which is counting numbers, right? Checking your numbers.
Mm,
The
let's talk
numbers
about it.
game.
I'm sipping and you're talking this time.
The numbers game. So now I have to say, from at high school, senior year, I stopped playing the numbers game
Mm.
because I realized in high school, them numbers, and I say this, them numbers don't mean nada. They mean zilch. And as an educator, it literally gives people like heart palpitations. But let's be honest, ain't nobody worried about the numbers. They're not. They're not. Now, When do you want to decide when the numbers matter? I don't know, probably like paying your bills, the numbers matter. Okay. Getting paid for your services, those numbers matter. But when it comes to your community, it's not about number of people, but the quality of that interaction, which is
Hmm.
the same even for your business. You can do a whole bunch of something and touch no one.
Yeah.
Or you can take the time to make sure that you are giving your very best to whomever you are servicing, but have such great quality interactions that those people, they are your raving fans.
Yeah.
It may be 10, but they are the best 10 that spend the biggest dollars with you every single year. Versus I got 1,000 people and I can't even get a t-shirt sold. Just saying, right? We have
I
been trained, I
know.
mean, think about it, like we have been trained for a very long time to look at numbers.
Yeah.
Now, I was number 2 in my class, and that's fine. But even I know that my colleagues, and is this our 30th anniversary? I don't know. I never go. I don't miss, I'm not that person. It doesn't matter. But numbers doesn't really speak to your intelligence or your understanding. They don't. They don't. People assume, oh my God, they've got a so and so. And like, yeah, you may have some book smarts, but you're about as simple as all get out. Like, bruh, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, or you take social media, you've got the million cajillion. And again, you can't get people to engage with your post. You have no real connection there. So then they just become vanity numbers to make you feel good. Now, if it's filling in some other gap in your life, I'm gonna tell you right now, get you a therapist because it's not gonna last very long. Just saying.
Mm.
But that's a whole nother. Let me stay on task here.
Okay. Okay.
It's about quality
Appreciate it.
interactions. It's about quality interactions.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, your community may just be 5 people deep, but they're the best 5 people and you guys are doing some of the biggest things. But then word gets out like, "Oh my God, I would like to be in a community where people really care about me and ask me about my day and support my project." And even though you're going live at the very first time and there's one person out there, but that's that one who got you, do you need anything else?
Yeah.
Do you?
It's
Don't
the
need the 100 who don't even vibe or like interact. So if I may, Tanya had an event the other day, which was a great discussion about trademark. And it was about the Pink the artist and Pharrell and Victoria's Secret Pink. Now I thought for all of like, I don't know, 2 weeks about being a lawyer, a litigator. I thought about it because I can argue when I can. But I thought, no, it's not really me because I'm a slacker. It's not going to work out. But just being able to have that chat with her and we dug into, does this argument make sense? How would average consumers look at it? And blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, it was great. It was a great opportunity to just have another conversation as a small business owner that makes you think beyond when you're doing your trademark or when you're looking at XYZ. Have you considered all of these things? And I'm thinking, okay, let me think about. It's not your typical I'm gonna talk at you and then
right.
maybe you'll get something. This is more of a let's have a discussion
Yeah.
about what's currently going on and how it may impact you as a small business owner. It's beautiful. Beautiful discussion.
Well, and I love stuff like that. Stuff where, let's work together. Let's take this apart, unpack this little item and see what's going on. That kind of education is the kind that will stick in your brain. If she had given you a lecture yesterday, would you be talking about it
Right.
today?
Yeah.
Would you remember anything except, oh shit, legal stuff is stuff I don't like to look at? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love that. Well, in another instance, you were talking about, I got 1,000 people, but nobody will buy a T-shirt. It just brings me back to one time we were in Peggy's rooms, time benders people, go see them, and somebody said they wanted a T-shirt with her logo on it. And then Peggy's busy for a few minutes and then she goes, I got it for sale. Here's the link. Boom. Everybody bought a damn T-shirt that day.
Okay,
Like,
so someone did buy. I bought a mug. I have your mug. because I'm part of that community.
Yeah.
And people don't really think like you have this idea of I got to have all these folks to support my brand. You are your brand.
Yes.
Now I know there's this whole thing about take a weekend and you can get your personal brand, and I'm old school. Your reputation and what you stand for will always hold true.
Uh-huh.
Your word is your bond.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole idea of I live this one life here and then I do some other I almost said some other some other shicey stuff over there. No. You are your brand. When you walk into a room, who are you and what are you representing?
Mm-hmm.
People see it. They feel it in your energy. They feel it in your spirit. You live the life. You're not just talking about it. You're not
That
just talking about like this is it. So when people come into a space and they meet me, I'm a couple of handful. I'm a couple of buckets. I'm a couple of buckets. It's a bit much. I am high energy. I will check out the energy and tone it down if I feel like that's the way to go. Because I like to read the room, but I still come in kicking down doors. You know what I'm saying?
as you were meant to.
You're gonna remember me, baby. You're gonna remember this interaction.
Mhm. Mhm.
One way or the other.
Oh, holy moly! Well, and that's the thing. It's marketing itself. It's always kind of evolving. The idea of marketing and brand
Mhm.
and community is always evolving in my brain. And what it evolves. It evolved that afternoon. It was like it ain't about how many T-shirts you've sold. It's
Mhm.
about making things available when people say stuff.
Mhm.
It's about getting your tribe, your people, your crowd or whatever. Did I say tribe? New word,
New
everybody.
word.
But getting your people together and responding to what they want to see, do, and hear next, and
Mhm.
then providing that opportunity for them.
Mhm.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I don't care about the rest of it.
No, I mean, again, everybody has their idea of what they want to walk away from. Um, Shout out to Gary. I saw him in here, and we paired up a year ago as accountability partners, and
Gary.
we've been working together ever since. We have expanded it to say, hey, if you want to be part of this, we will ride or die with you. Okay,
Yes.
maybe not the die part. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you're committing crimes, I am not your person.
Ah.
But I will do some other things. There is a line. There is a line there.
There
But
it is.
we open up the doors to if you feel as if you haven't had somebody who would truly support you and not give you like this boot camp style of accountability and just just all ugh. It's like
Look,
you don't have to do all that. We can do this together and we will help you do it in trust. We'll help break it down. If you can't do it, you know what? Let me take 15, 20 minutes. I will create something for you. And all you have to do is post it. We work as a community, work as a team.
yeah.
You don't have to do this by yourself. And there's not this idea of I owe somebody.
Mm,
No, don't owe anybody anything. We
mm-mm.
naturally want to give and help and support other people because it's just in our heart, it's in our nature. We've never
Well,
had anybody who felt like they could get over us, but we don't even have that as an idea. That's not a concern.
yeah. It's not a concern. I mean, the the accountability part too. I love the idea of that accountability team.
Mhm.
And for me, sometimes supporting people gives me that energy and juice and drive to do the next big thing. Like
Yes.
it's all a part of the same deal. It doesn't have to be separated like a lunch
Mm.
tray.
Mhm.
Uh
Mhm.
yeah,
And
I
it's not
want to say hi to
competition
everybody.
either. It's not
Hey,
competition.
everybody. Tanya's here. Dr. Tachi's here. We got Nat. Welcome, everybody. I wasn't paying attention at all to the chat, so I just want to say I'm sorry and I love y'all. Okay, back to business. Yeah, my love for what I do, my marketing, my creativity, my uniqueness, those do not have to be separated into, oh, you can only express that here, oh, you can only express that here.
Mhm.
On a lot of, social networks and stuff, there's stuff they want you to say and stuff they don't want you to say. And I don't have to have that in my life anymore. If I can welcome people into my community. If certain people don't fit, if some things start happening I don't like, here is a great big boot. I'll give it a kiss and send it to you on the mail,
Right.
because you ain't gonna be in my community anymore.
Well, here's what people like if when people don't feel comfortable because perhaps their values don't align with yours or their behaviors don't align, they typically find themselves removing themselves from that situation. They move themselves out. Right now, we haven't had to do any booting, thank you, but people will feel uncomfortable, right? Like we are not in competition with each other, even if we were in the same industry. And I'll take photographers because people think, oh, when you take pictures, first, I don't take pictures,
Sorry, no.
right? So let's just get that right. But even if I did, the person you work with isn't the person that I'm working with, right? People who love me love my high energy. My reviews are not about my art, which is actually very, very nice, but it's always about how I made them feel and the overall experience and the lack of stress or like, oh my God, it was so easy and gee, it's so funny. My kids are still, yeah, it's not about the photos. Right. Whereas someone else may just want someone to take a picture. Great. That's not my person. It's not my person because
No.
we're going to have some music, may have a cocktail or two, some nibbles, and we're going to have a good time. That's what we do. But that's my tribe. Like that's my customer. We enjoy that. And they want someone to take care of everything for them and just show up. That's my customer. Right? But even if I'm a photographer, which I am, I have no problems sharing other photographers' work on any of my social media platforms. Because I'm just like, if my tribe is winning, I am winning too. Their
Yes.
win is my win. So as I'm looking at here, shout out to Dr. Tashi. Can I talk about her really quick? Because the way that she has built a community around providing content from creators of all sizes, like that's a special community. And I'm a newer creator. I'm newer in this creator space. But the fact that she was able to find people of like mind to get behind this dream that she had, and we were like, let's build. And we have been getting all the go. We have been doing it. You know how awesome that is? Because no one has to support your dream. No one owes you any of that. But somebody said, I believe in what she does, and I love what she stands for. And I just know if I can help her out in any way, shape, or form, I am there for it.
Yes. That's the type of thing I want to build. That's the type of back and forth, give and take community
Mhm.
where it's okay for everybody to come to the well, even me. You know what I mean? It's not, so many communities, so much of our ideas about community has been framed by this is a top down community. The coach issues some
Mhm.
things, people react. That's it.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't want to have to be around for my people to get something from being there.
Yeah.
I want the come right in to live long past the time that I
Mhm.
have gone. That's what I want because
Mhm.
it fills a need for people to get together, to be social, to engage. Sometimes it'll problem solve, sometimes a little accountability.
Mhm.
My friend Jamie and I were co-working right before I came here, and we have a thing because I really secretly want a button for us to be able to hit and like confetti because you've given me that idea. I secretly want that. I don't have that yet technologically. I will get it, but for now we have gifts in Go Brunch. So every time she finishes something, she sends a GIF over to me. We write it in the chat. Every time I finish something, I send a GIF over to her, and then we write it in the chat. And we can just go and get our stuff done and not have to be alone. I mean, it's a big deal. It's a
It's a
big
huge deal. It's a huge, we there are a couple of memes out there, and I'm sure everybody's seen it. And I've lived it myself, where people talk about celebrating your friends, family, whomever, when it's their winning season. Because we all go through dips and valleys. A dear friend, Ron Foster, he talked about the other day how there are these, life is not like a straight shot. There's maybe a couple of bumps on the road. And I was like, no, there's potholes. Sometimes there are craters. You may fall in and be like, I need help, get out of there.
Sometimes a meteor has landed here.
Right? I mean, it can be really bad. But you tend to learn your lesson in those potholes and those craters, right? But it can be so easy if you're not careful. And in my head, if you don't really know who you are, it can be so careful to look at your friend, family member, or loved one who is just winning. Everything is coming their way. And here you're like, I'm out here busting it and no one's calls. I haven't signed one contract. Like, it is so easy to go to this negative place.
Oh my God.
It's so easy. But when you're in a community and you're honest about who you are, right? Like, I'm a cheerleader. I didn't do it in high school because, I guess I wasn't cute enough or whatever. But I am a cheerleader. If you are part of my community, whatever you're doing, I'm supporting it. I'm shouting it out. If I can be there, I am in the crowd. Like, whatever I can do to help you win, because I truly believe that your win is my win.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's me all day. I don't have to have like the accolades I do love confetti. Do love some champagne, you know what I'm saying? But I am here for everybody, like, really shouting out everyone. Do I need it in return? Hell no. Gwendolyn is secure in her stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen people who were like, well, when I was supporting him and nobody supported me, then you need to check your reasons, kid.
Yeah.
Check your real reasons for doing what you're doing. When people have those random acts of kindness that just happen to get caught on tape, well, how random was it?
If somebody's standing there with a camera, I don't think it was very
And you're right, and
random.
you're waiting for these, oh my God, you're so awesome, and look how beautiful you are. Thank you. Now, again, I believe a lot of us every single day do some random act of kindness that doesn't need to be shouted out on the mountain so that someone can pat us on the back. You're a good human. Look at you. That should just be part of being out here, right? Is to be a good human, right?
Yeah, I
I mean,
completely
just
agree. I mean, love and service are what keeps the world going around. That's the rent we pay
right.
to be on the face of the earth. That's, I mean, I'm a true believer in that, even though I think a lot of people would probably disagree.
Yes.
What else?
But for me, if no one was to ever show up, it doesn't matter. I'm a soapbox kid, have always been. I will stand on my soapbox, say whatever it is I got to say, and then get down. I don't care if there's zero, if there's a -1 in the crowd. It doesn't impact me. But I'm not in the same place as other people who may still need like an accolade or a gold star or something. And it's okay. Like, everybody's going through their own journey. We're all learning. We get there when we get there.
Yeah,
But I'm not looking for someone to return that to me.
yeah,
I don't need it. I don't need it. Now, I will say this. I got the good Lord on my side, so I'm not worried about much anyway, but if you're doing things in the hopes of someone giving it in return, then check your motives. It's probably why it's not working. Cuz you
yes, yeah. Save everybody.
when the motives are not genuine, when your plan is not genuine, sometimes it doesn't work out in your favor. Just saying. Is that karma? Is that what that is? Is that life? I don't know. Let me not let me not go there. Check your motives though.
It's true, and I do think that that's not it's not necessarily people's fault, but it is the way that we're taught, but the world does not work that way.
Mm-mm,
The
mm-mm.
world just doesn't work that way. When I stopped looking for people to do that, that's when it really starts coming. And it always surprises the hell out of me. Okay, so I was with my little sister over the weekend, my younger sister and my older sister. It was a sister weekend. They said, "This is the concert. Okay, who's driving?" And so, okay, I'm in the car. I don't care. And so we went, and my niece was talking about following my nephew in high school. My nephew's older, my niece is younger, and she was talking about him being a hard act to follow. And my younger sister, I kid you not, said, "What do you think it was like following this one?" And she jerked her thumb over at me, and I thought, "What?" And then she started talking, and I did not recognize myself. I was like, "Really? That's pretty cool, you know." But in no way was I expecting it, because,
Mhm.
I mean, for me, so I have this little practice in the morning. I think I may have told you about it once maybe, but if I didn't, I'm telling you now. So it's called Engage One. Is this
Oh,
practice?
okay.
Because as marketers, as entrepreneurs, baby, we're out there shouting about our stuff all the time. We are.
Mm.
And we want to engage other people. But
Mhm.
what we forget is this one needs to be engaged first.
Yes.
This one needs to have bought that products in their mind 10 times.
Mhm.
Uh, this one needs to be in it to win it. I
Mhm.
can't get you excited if I'm not. Yeah, I can't get you engaged if I'm not engaged. So that's the principle. The action is super simple. Uh, what are you excited about today? uh, Give me the list.
Mm.
And then,
Mm.
maybe a little future casting, which some people call manifesting. I
Yes.
don't like everybody else's normal words. I have to make up my own.
I know, right? Because it just gets watered down. You're like, okay.
Is like, at some
Oh,
point, it's like, okay, what does that mean anymore?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I call it future casting, which is, I got a project. I'm not looking forward to doing it. So what I do is I future cast, and I go, this is how I felt the minute that I finished that bad boy.
Yeah.
And so when I do that, I don't necessarily need outside in,
Mhm.
don't need stuff coming from the outside as much, because I've fed myself and I'm ready
Mhm.
to roll for the day.
Mhm.
I don't know why I told that story, but I did, and it's on tape.
It works. Here's the deal, because I have mentioned more than enough times that, like, when it comes to dreams, the only person who has to support it is yourself, because it's your dream. Your parents don't owe you, your siblings don't owe you, your friends, people don't owe you that time and attention to your dream. That's yours. And some people put a lot of work and expectations on the outside, the family, friends, their closest circles. Are like, they're never here for me. But like you mentioned, how often are you there for you? Now, Gwendolyn has some dreams. I got all kinds of stuff in my Notion notebook. I am working on some things. But we're also doing it because I make time for it. I got 4 quarters. I choose what I'm going to work on in each quarter and slowly chip away at each thing. And I get it. I live that 80-20 life, because I'm always like, if I get it to 80% and it can go to market, great, because I can always upgrade. But what I'm giving is my very best at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm going to upgrade it as I go. So, right. But you have to believe in it. And when you ask people sometimes about their business, what they're working on, they're like, well, I'm working on this thing, it's just kind of,
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I admit, I don't start off again with what I do, because I'm about creating community, safe space, so on and so forth, right? And then I'll add in, I do that through photography, my podcasts, and career coaching. That's how I do it. But this is who I am and what I do, right? This is the vehicle that I use it for. But if you ask me about my podcast, we can talk about some stuff. My TV show, my other many creative ideas that I have listed. Yeah, I got ideas for you. And they're like, how do you do all this? I don't know, but it's what I believe in. So I make time for it. So that's how it gets done. But that belief in yourself and what you're bringing to the market is needed and necessary. I have said the world requires your genius. Somebody out there needs your message, your product, your book, your podcast. Yes, there are like a cajillion podcasts. Now, if push comes to shove, my mama might just get a podcast this year, right? Because everybody got one. But somebody,
I would listen. By the way, Mama, I would listen
me
to
and
that. Just
me
you
and
let me
mama,
know.
don't give me any more ideas, man. Don't give me any more ideas. But somebody needs to hear your message the way
Mhm.
that you tell it, because it will resonate with them.
Yeah.
It will resonate. We can all say the same thing, but that one person, they're like, oh my God, that touched my heart.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's the same thing. Bring your message, bring your product, but you gotta believe in it. And if you're not believing in it, I don't know who else is gonna do it.
No, nobody else is going to do it. There's too much. There's just too much going on.
Mhm.
I'll tell you a little story about the concert this last weekend. So the sisters they summoned, and we went to see Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it was a lot. It was so much memory music, so much remembering certain places and times you hadn't thought about in years. And, but at the end of her set, Stevie Nicks, she was talking about a friend of hers who had passed,
Mm,
Christine McVie, also in
mm,
Fleetwood Mac, I
yeah.
believe,
Mhm.
and how it's been a couple of years, and she said that her mom always said to her, Stevie, when you're hurting, you run to the stage. And
Mm,
then she said, I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight,
mm,
because this is what I run to when I'm hurting. And you don't have any idea how much you're giving me by standing here with me right now.
mhm.
And it was like wow, you don't know how people are really reacting.
Yes.
Most of the time they're never ever going to say it. So when you feed yourself, when you get on with your bad self, when you know it's important, so you make time for you, these are the kinds of results that you can get.
So on the list, and it's this is for August because we have our July podcast already scheduled. But in August, one of the topics I'm bringing to the table is to stop lurking and start liking again. Because we've gotten to this place, and I believe it's a selfish, insecure space that God forbid if I actually liked this person's post or their dance routine or what they just said or their video. God forbid if I like it.
Yeah.
Because that might just give them somebody who would have liked my stuff. Stop it. Tell people that they're doing great. Right? Let them know it. And matter of fact, whether you tell them or not, they already know it. Like people ain't got to tell me nothing. Because I already know. The
Hmm.
good Lord made no mistakes over here. You know what I'm saying? So I am good. But the number of folks who will go through social media and will never like something, will never leave a comment. It's like, cut it out. Cut it
Yeah.
out. Put some good juju in the world.
Yeah.
Give folks their flowers. Jesus.
I like that. I like that topic. Stop lurking and start liking.
Yes. Cut it out. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? If you're feeling some kind of way, then ask yourself, great, what do I need to do? I like and love a lot of people's posts, will reshare them. And I also look at certain people to see how I can upgrade my game.
Yeah.
How can I make it a little bit tighter? How do I want to adjust this? But I tell them that was a great video,
Yeah.
right? Everybody is inspired by someone. It could be the butterflies outside of your house. You're inspired by someone. So stop making it seem as if, well, I want to put this idea out first because everybody cut it out. Again, a grocery store full of peanut butter and bottles of water and bread, and they're all selling. Calm down. There's plenty of room.
Ah,
You know what I mean? But that's the self-awareness part, the self-awareness and the honesty part about how you really feel about yourself. And let's just say competition.
yeah.
Right? Because if you walk into a room and you feel threatened because you're in other spaces, or as folks say, well, I'm intimidated. Well, that's fear on your side, not on this other person.
Yeah.
You can't put your emotions on their back. That's
Yeah.
your fear. And ask yourself why that is. And then ask yourself why you feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, people will often say, you make me feel, I can't make you do nothing. I don't have that kind of power. Don't have it.
I
We're
am trying to
choosing
make
to
you eat a
feel
hamburger right now. Yeah. It's well, ain't that the truth? And I'll tell you, I'll be straight up transparent honest with you. When somebody else enters the scene, sometimes that looks like they're doing what I'm doing, I always go through the, oh shit, they're going to take away from me first. I think that training is just so strong.
it.
Uh, I do, however, when I notice I'm getting that panic, I go, okay, what are we doing here?
Mhm.
Like, I have to talk myself through that and then go,
Mhm.
is there a way that this person and I could collaborate
Yes.
and just have a good time? I mean, because that's, I mean, there is enough, there's just enough. So yeah.
There is so much out there for everyone to be happy, in air quotes, and healthy.
Yeah.
There's so much out there. But it is pretty deep. Like you are correct. It is very deep. And we have, for a lot of folks, we have been taught that there's a zero-sum game. Somebody has to lose in order for someone to win. And that's just not true. It's just not true. But getting rid of that thought process and
Mhm.
feeling good about yourself. Now, my confidence is steeped in my faith. I say it, the good Lord made no mistakes. Zero. Right? So whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter to me. Last time I checked, you did not wake me up this morning. So, right? You know what I'm saying? So you have to figure out, like what's your foundation? Now that came from my mother. I'm gonna go ahead and give her props because she was clear in reminding us every day
Yeah.
about how blessed we are. We are all individuals, and I know that the world wants us to be the same, a very gap-ish mindset that we all look alike. And yeah, no, you were made and put here on this earth for a very specific reason. What is it? Whatever it is, it's waiting for you. As
Yeah.
soon as you decide to put your arms around that purpose, bring your very best self, it's going to meet you at the door. And this golden road will appear because you're doing what you're supposed to do. Can't nobody stop that. As my mama has always said, can't nobody take your blessing. They can't. They can't do it. It is there for you and you alone. And there is some other person waiting for you to pick up that purpose because they need you. They're waiting for your message.
They are. And you know, just going back to the socials again for a second, we're so in love with homogenizing the message so that everybody will hear it. No, listen, I don't want more than 10 clients one-on-one at a time.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't, you know, there's only so much business this girl can do.
Right.
You know, and again, I know where I'm putting my money, right to those student loans and right to our debt and right to everything else. Do you know what I mean? I'm
Yes.
not doing it for that.
Mhm.
It's there is something inside me that every time I actually am true to that and am true to my own values and what I want out of my life,
Mhm.
my people just come. They
Yeah.
just come. They come banging down the door. They come right in, and they come visit me. I am serious. I send out an email, and I've got a button on the bottom that says "Come see the community." People come popping in to talk about the email I just sent. What? That didn't happen before.
Yeah.
Uh, so, I mean, and it's knowing people like you who will, you know, give me, oh my God, have we talked away an hour, G?
Girl, like I said, I did say I was a soapbox kid. I didn't lie about that. I'm a soapbox kid with 3 podcasts and 1 TV show. I am in my element. I'm living all of this purpose.
Well, gee, this is what we're gonna have to do. We are gonna have to have you again, because you are one hell of an interview. I'll say that right now, and I want to have you again. So y'all, I'm gonna cut. But where do we get a hold of you? What can I type in the chat so that people will reach out?
Oh, okay. So if you're looking for Gwendolyn, you are looking. I love YouTube, GR Houston Jack, and LinkedIn, Gwendolyn R Houston Jack. Go there first because I'm most interactive there. I am everywhere, but I am most interactive in those places. So YouTube and LinkedIn is where I'm vibing.
Hmm.
I'm on Instagram, but it's more of a come here but go there
Yeah.
kind of kind of thing, right? So if that's what you're looking for, and I will link up with anybody. I will talk with anyone. If you're trying to sell me something, save yourself some time. That's what I'm doing now. Don't bother. We
Okay.
are here for genuine connections, right? Genuine connections.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh my gosh. Just you reminded me of another story. It's very short. I will tell it right now. So, yeah, last night and the night before, there's a big hailstorm in the neighborhood,
Mm.
and you know what comes after a hailstorm? Roofers. Doorbell
Mhm,
all day
mhm.
yesterday. I actually answered it one time because most of the time I just sit here and go, "Good luck." But I answered it, and this guy was talking before I even got the door all the way open, and he was saying, "Hey, I just looked at your neighbor's house, and he said I ought to come over here and take a look at yours too." And I said, "We don't need nothing."
That
Did
whole
you
neighborhood
just
thing.
mansplain me that you need to take a look at my roof because my neighbor
Right.
said? Oh my god, don't be that guy. Oh my god. And right when I said it, he just like he looked like it was a line that he had used so many times and had worked.
Mhm.
But like he just looked like a little lost when I said that. I'm like I don't even know what I think it was. I think it was that he was marketing unthinkingly.
They it's
You know,
always the neighbors, right? Is that your neighbor's house and they're getting new windows? Well, good for them.
that's wonderful. Does he pay my bills? I don't think he comes over here to pay my bills. So
Right?
anyway, we had better wrap it up because if we were left to our own devices all night, I mean, G would have to break open another bottle of wine. I would have to make another cup of coffee, and we would be here all night. But you know what? Why don't you do this? Why don't you get a hold of G in the places that we have sketched out there in the chat? Why don't you come on over to Come Right In? We'll
Mhm.
be there. I will be there. And come over and hang out with us. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. And I'm just gonna say it has been so incredibly lovely to just talk about all things
Mhm.
marketing, self-awareness,
Mhm.
all things G, why you do what you do, what you're doing. This is the good stuff. This is the good stuff.
Thank
Uh,
you for having me. I appreciate it.
yeah, and thank all of you for coming. I know you're just here to see G, but that's okay. You come on back any old time, and that's it for my friends. Any final words, G? Any final pearls of wisdom to put on the string that you've given us today?
My phrase that I like to give people is give yourself the space and grace to grow and learn. There you
All
go.
right, we're gonna end on that because I can't top it. And I'll see you next week, same bot time, same bot channel.